I see you giving back to so many people in the community with big checks. And I just like, where did you learn that from? Like, where did that inspiration come from?
I wish I had some kind of great poetic story, but I guess the giving back personally started with the idea of tithing. So at 18 years old, my dad challenged me, as only fathers can do. I was making good money already at 18, but to take 10% and to tithe it back to my church. So as I started to personally tithe, it's the only time in the Bible God says, test me on this, by the way. I was shocked by just the opportunities and some people call it luck. I call it kind of divine blessings that started to come our way.
Hi, and welcome to the Awakening series. My name is Kimberly Archuleta. Today we have an honored guest, my dear friend and amazing, brilliant mind, Mike Murphy, Murphy Automotive. Mike, welcome to the series. I'm so glad to have you on board here talking about giving thanks and Thanksgiving and giving back.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's obviously a great week for us to have a great topic like giving back. So honored to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. Mike, if you could give us some insight about your journey and really what you do and how you got there.
Yeah, so my story is kind of the continuation of the American dream. I like to start with my grandpa. He was kind of a sharecropper, couldn't read or write, and ended up in Miami. My dad was born in Miami, and it wasn't the best of childhoods, but he made the best of it. Ended up getting drafted out of high school by the LA Dodgers, and that's kind of what got us out of poverty. My dad had me at 35, and at this time he already owned a little Lincoln Mercury store in Newport Richey, Florida, and didn't make much money, but it was a great beginning dealership where we perfected our art. Most of my policy process and procedures I inherited from my father, so he did a fantastic job. I was in the entertainment business when I was younger and moved to Hollywood for a couple of years. As that season of my life ended and my parents were divorced, I, at 14, started to work. Went to work for my father as a detailer. And fast forward 24 years later, we're a dozen car dealerships, a dozen companies. We do business in Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. And we like to think of ourselves as a for-purpose business as much as for profit, but profit's a pretty good word too.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, thank you. Your journey is amazing. I am so enamored by like you starting at 14 as a detailer and working your way up and learning the craft from, the ground up to where you are currently. I see you giving back to so many people in the community with big checks. And I just like, where did you learn that from? Like, where did that inspiration come from?
I wish I had some kind of great poetic story, but I guess the giving back personally started with the idea of tithing. So at 18 years old, my dad challenged me, as only fathers can do. I was making good money already at 18, but to take 10% and to tithe it back to my church. So as I started to personally tithe, it's the only time in the Bible God says, test me on this, by the way. I was shocked by just the opportunities and some people call it luck. I call it kind of divine blessings that started to come our way. And it was a staple of who we were as people. But it was May of 2015 when this idea of giving or tithing 10% of our advertising budget, which is what we do, came to play. So I was working out one day and I would watch the music video to God's Plan by Drake. And it's kind of cool if you've seen the video. It starts off with him saying, I had $1,097,000 allotted for the filming of this music video. And I decided to give it away. And he gave it all away, mostly in Miami. It was at the University of Miami, but just paying people's cars off, paying tuition, giving them, a second lease on life. It inspired me. So in automotive advertising, we say 10% of advertising works. We just don't know what 10%. So that month I took my entire TV and radio budget, which was about $75,000, grabbed a camera crew, and we gave it away in an afternoon. We then boosted that ad on social media and had the best month in the history of our business that month.
Wow. That's insane and beautiful and amazing. And it seems like you have not stopped. Like anytime I look at any of your posts, you're always giving back. And to me, that like just warms my heart. I don't see that often with business owners. And you continue to do that for your community. If you can give us some insight on like small things as just human beings that we can do to give back to, you know, the people around us.
Most people would think of giving back, they think about giving their money. And money's important, but you can make more of it. I would encourage people, if you want to give back your time. It's the only thing you can't make more of. So I've taken a liberal approach of if you're supposed to tie 10% of your crops, which is like your work, and you work a 40-hour work week, wouldn't it be nice to just give back 4 hours a week? And you can do that however you want. That's what, 240 minutes. So that could be 4 60-minute sessions, 6 40-minute sessions, 12 30-minute sessions. And giving back could be, you know, listening, mentoring, which I find a lot of joy in. So I would encourage us, give back your time.
I absolutely love that. Yeah, this is something we cannot get back. And it's one of the most valuable things we have next to health, right? So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. What words of advice would you give your younger self if you could, say, for example, 18 or 14 years old, now that you know what you know now?
Yeah, at 18, if I was to talk to myself professionally, I think I should have done less better. Most people are really good at starting things. We're not great at finishing them. I had a CEO coach that said, you can take 100 things and move them a foot, or you can take one thing and move it a mile. So I think I would have done a lot less multitasking, which gives us the opportunity to screw up more than one thing at once. And I would have focused a lot more of my energy on less things.
I love that. And you're speaking straight to my heart because I always do too many things. Oh, yes, the multitasking world. That's super awesome. And I just want to thank you for all of the time, the effort, the money that you've given the community. You truly are like a hero, and it's just an honor to have you here today. And I know you're a busy, busy man, so thank you for your time.
Absolutely. And, you know, I look at this as not my 4 hours of giving back. This is just great opportunity I've learned from you. We've built some great innovative products in the past together. For those that don't know, our first project together, Kimberly and I teamed up. We created a e-learning curriculum for my dealerships, which at the time seemed forward thinking and it worked pretty well. But during the height of COVID, it became my competitive advantage because I sent half my employees home to go through the e-learning training while half were at work. And if we had an outbreak, we swapped them. We took on this old African proverb, if you're busy rowing the boat, you won't rock the boat. So when everybody was safer at home, they were also training. That was a significant investment in our people and it was expensive. We decided to do that before PPP loans, although PPP made up for it. But here's the thing I want your listeners to know. When we came out of COVID, and of course, in the state of Florida, under DeSantis's leadership, we did it a little bit quicker than everybody else. Without politics, it just time is time. We ended up being a trained company. So we went from untrained to trained, and we came out of a pandemic, although we were very sympathetic and empathetic to all the life lost. But we came out of the pandemic significantly better than we went into it as an organization.
Yay, that makes me so happy to hear. Thank you for the insight and thank you for letting the viewers know. I don't really talk about what I do on this show, but thank you. That was kind of you. Thanks. Mike,
sorry, but free plug.
You're so awesome. I'm just so thankful for you. And I wish you and your family a wonderful Thanksgiving. And again, thank you so much for giving back so much. And I look forward to seeing all the wonderful things you do throughout the years. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.